Hello students, welcome to Pathak's Computer Academy online classes. In the previous video, we learned about the Internet Protocol, that is also known as TCP/IP protocol. In that protocol, we learned various layers. Today, we will see some protocols that works on application layer. So the contents we covered today are the introduction, after that communication protocol, mail protocol, file transfer protocol, and at the last remote login protocol. Okay, so as we know in earlier video, application layer uses protocols such as HTTPS on client side application like browser. What it means? It means from browser to access the www, we need a protocol, and one protocol is known as HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, and we already read that the application layer is responsible for providing services to whom? To the user. And these services are accessing the www, mail services, file transfer and access, remote log. So all these services can be achieved, but we have to follow some protocol. And we know that protocol means some rules and regulations. So start with the communication protocol. HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So first of all, we have to know that what is hypertext? The text that can link from one to another text are known as hypertext. And with the help of hypertext, the web pages, the content of the web pages are created. So if we want to access the web pages, we need to follow some rules, and that rule is known as hypertext transfer protocol. That's why in the second line you can see that it is written over here that HTTP is used mainly to access data on the World Wide Web. This is the basic concept why HTTP is used. Clear? This HTTP is a stateless protocol. So what it means? It means for each transaction, these transactions are executed separate. There is no connection between the previous request as well as the forthcoming request. Okay, clear? Now, next one is HTTPS. This is also a communication protocol. This is also used to access the data from World Wide Web. But the difference is that it is secure. S stands for secure. Whatever the data are communicated between the two are encrypted, such as bank account details, some login credentials. These are very much confidential. That should not be disclosed within the network. Okay. So you clearly see that whenever you use your net banking facility, that net banking facility starts with https colon double slash www.onlinesbi.com, something else. Clear? And how these security is achieved, that can be not the part of your syllabus. That's why I have not included in this. There are various other protocols are also used. Okay. But here you can see that HTTP does not uses SSL, while HTTPS uses SSL. So what it is? It is secure socket layer. Okay. This is used when encryption is needed for the particular data. Now, this page is related to the difference between the HTTP and HTTPS. So first difference is very clear, that HTTP is not secured while HTTPS is secure. Whenever it is needed, we can use for particular thing. Due to this, because of adding some additional information to provide security, okay, it is slow as compared to HTTP. Okay, to provide security, HTTP transmits the data over port number 80, while HTTP uses 443. HTTP is an application layer protocol, while HTTPS is transport layer protocol. So I think it is very clear to you what is HTTP and HTTPS. So now, moving further, now I am going to discuss mail protocol. This very famous protocol is known as SMTP. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and it is used for electronic mail in the internet. You all have your electronic mails like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and so on. These are governed under the rule SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It consists of two parts. First one is local part. Here, your unique name is to be displayed. After that, @ and then domain part. Okay. For which server you are taking the services of mail, either Google, Yahoo, and many. So the main purpose of SMTP is used to set up communication rules between servers. Clear? And various email clients allows to transfer the data up to 2500. Now, next one is POP3. POP stands for Post Office Protocol. Okay. POP3 is a client server protocol in which email is received and held for you by your internet server. So in POP3, with the help of this protocol, email is not going to transfer over the network. Whenever with the help of SMTP, the mail is transferred and reached to the receiving server. Then, with the help of POP, your mail is dropped in your mailbox and downloaded. This standard protocol is built into most popular email products like Outlook Express. Okay, this Outlook Express is the product for Microsoft. It comes automatically when you install MS Office or Windows. Clear? But you have to link that Outlook Express application with your mail. So whenever you connect with the internet, Outlook Express automatically connect with the server of your domain, download the mails, whatever unreaded for you. You do not have to log in with your credential and go to the inbox. You just have to open the Outlook Express. And all this can be done with the protocol known as POP, Post Office Protocol. So what is the difference? The major difference is that SMTP is used to send the email, while POP is used to receive the email. That's all. That's why SMTP acts as message transfer agent, while POP is used as message access agent. Okay? SMTP is for transferring, while POP is for accessing. And the port number for SMTP is 25 and POP3 is 110. This is the major difference. There are a lot of more differences, but I have not included because this is not in the part of your syllabus. Now, we have covered communication and mail protocol. Now, I am going to discuss file transferring protocol. So, first one is FTP. As the name suggests, FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, which moves file between local and remote file system. Clear? So, FTP establishes two connections between the client and the server. First connection is known as for data transfer, and it is done on port number 20. And another one is for control information. and it runs on port number 21. Whenever the connection is established, the control connection is maintained during the entire FTP session, while the data connection opened and then closed for each file. Clear? So I think you have an idea about what is FTP. Now, next one is SFTP. Again, here S stands for secure. Whenever you want that my file should be transferred securely, then your file should be encrypted. And after that, it should be moved to the network. And this is done with the help of secure shell security component. Here. Okay. Thus, SFTP is the combination of FTP and SSH, where secure shell is a cryptographic component, okay, for encrypting your data. Clear? So that your file is avoiding password sniffing or some sensitive information. Okay? Here, sensitive information. So again, the difference, what is the difference? FTP does not encrypt the data before sending. Okay, so all your file is in the form of original one, while in SFTP, your data or your file is in encrypted form. And this encryption is done with the help of SSH. Again, FTP runs on port number 21, already discussed, while SFTP runs on port number 22. Again, FTP uses 2 channels, already discussed, while SFTP uses 1 channel only. Next file transferring protocol is known as Secure Copy Protocol. This is again the same thing. Transferring your computer files securely. But what is the difference between SCP and SFTP? It does not allow user to see and modify on the server. Okay? This is the major difference between SCP and SFTP. Both are transferring your files securely with the help of secure shell protocol. But in SCP, user cannot see or modify files. This is the major difference. Here I have incorporated the point. Okay, you cannot generate directory listing. Okay, you cannot see, you cannot modify the file, the directory, while in SFTP you can do this. Okay, SFTP is slow, SCP is fast. Why? Because of second point. So what are these points? SFTP has to acknowledge every teeny packet. Whenever the packet is reached, the acknowledgement is sent back to the sender. That's why SFTP is slow, while SCP does not need to acknowledge. That's why it is fast. Clear? So move on. And now I'm going to discuss the last topic, that is known as remote login protocol. And first protocol is known as Telnet. Telnet stands for Terminal Network. It is a type of protocol that enables one computer to connect to local computer. I think you have seen this. Your lab instructor seated in his or her computer. You are sitting in your assigned computer in your lab. You have some issue in your computer. You want to rectify that. Your teacher, without going to you in front of you, with the help of his or her computer, they access your computer and rectify the error. So how it is achieved? It is achieved with the help of the protocol known as Telnet, Terminal Protocol. Clear? Computer which starts connection known as the local computer. Computer which is being connected, it means which accept the connection, known as remote computer. During Telnet operation, whatever that is performing on the remote computer will be displayed by local computer. Another example I am going to give you. Whenever your laptop is damaged or some issue is arised, you complain that issue with the company. And if online warranty is available, the person from the company call you, ask for the issue, and if issue is not resolvable without the help of computer, they said to you that I want to access your computer. Just come and connect your laptop with the internet. I will access your computer or laptop with some mechanism. And that mechanism is known as Telnet. Whatever they do in their computer, you will see in your computer. That's why it is known as remote login. Clear? Next protocol is SSH. SSH protocol referred as secure shell. It provides several alternative options for strong authentication, and it protects the communication security and integrity with strong encryption so that your data cannot be cheated, cannot be hacked. Okay, that's why it is a secure alternative to the non-protected login protocols such as Telnet and insecure file transfer methods such as FTP. That's why previously you see that SFTP and SCP both are used as SSH protocol. to achieve security while transferring the file from one to another. So again, what is the difference between Telnet and SSH? First one is Telnet is suitable for private network. I have given the example. In your computer lab, your teacher connects your computer within his or her laptop. And SSH is used for public network. When you are connecting with your facility provider by the company. For example, Dell. Okay. Telnet uses port number 23 while SSH run on port number 22 by default. Clear? So I think it is very clear to you. And we learned today all the communication protocol, remote login file transfer protocol. In the next class, we will see web services in detail. What are the services can be taken by the end user with the help of web. Thank you very much.